The journey to wealth isn't one big move. It's a compilation of several habits that are repeated over time, and you repeat it to the point where success is just inevitable. You understand? It's not about necessarily focusing on the goal, but building the right systems in place. But today, as you probably read in the thumbnail or on the title, we're talking about how to become broke. But the question is why? All right, because we don't want to be broke, we want to be rich. Well, it's a theory called inversion thinking. It's a type of approach that a lot of wealthy people use, a lot of powerful people use in order to solve their issues and their problems or figure out how to do something. And what the reasoning behind it is that for the human brain, it's a lot easier for us to find problems than it is for us to find solutions. So for our example, how to be rich, rather than asking how to be rich or how to be successful or how to be wealthy or how to be debt free or whatever, you would say, how can I ensure that I am poor? What habits can I develop that will ensure that I'll be poor? And the approach is that by seeing what it takes to be poor and doing the opposite of those things, you will inevitably become wealthy. You will inevitably become successful by simply doing the opposite of what it takes to be poor or what it takes to be unsuccessful. All right, so with that being said, let's begin. So the first habit that will make sure that you are broke for the rest of your life is to start tomorrow. It's to put off things that are of high importance, and rather than doing them today, just wait till tomorrow. Don't post content today, post it tomorrow. Don't do that workout today, do it tomorrow, right? Don't do business research or cold calls or cold DMs today, just do it tomorrow. And by doing everything tomorrow, putting everything off to the next day or the next day and not fulfilling the important tasks in life, you guarantee that you're going to be broke. Habit number 2 is to consume content or read books and then do nothing. So, you got your Atomic Habits book, you got your Psychology of Money books, you got content like this that's helping you with your mindset. And if you want to stay broke, just watch the content, read the books, but then don't apply any of it. Because by not applying any of it, essentially you're just wasting your time and you're entertaining yourself. And essentially it's a pointless practice to gather knowledge and gather information, but ultimately learn nothing because you don't apply anything. Habit number 3 is to take advice from people who are broke. So the habit here is to you and all your broke friends get together and talk about what it takes to be wealthy, but nobody in your circle is wealthy. Nobody in your circle actually has money. So by taking their advice, you're just going to stay in the same place that you are. If you continue that habit, you are guaranteed to be broke. If their life is not your goal, then their opinion should not matter. Habit number 4 is to avoid discomfort. You have to understand that discomfort is a part of growth. Discomfort is simply just a part of expanding and becoming successful. You're going to be pushed to places where you're uncomfortable. And it's just a natural thing that you have to learn to accept. I remember a popular slogan from the military is to embrace the suck. Basically saying when they're going through PT training drills, they're doing all this hard training, these training exercises and things where you're cold, you're wet, and you're dirty and everything. You haven't eaten in hours or whatever. To just embrace it and accept that it's going to be uncomfortable. Accept the fact that, it's not going to always feel good. But people who want to stay broke, rather than pushing into that discomfort, they'll stay where it's comfortable and where it's safe. Because safe is where broke loves. Broke loves safe. You know what I'm saying? Poor and broke loves to keep it safe, love to keep it comfortable, love not to push you outside of your boundaries. Habit number 5, at least I think I'm on habit number 5, is to tolerate mediocrity. All right. By tolerating mediocrity, you're basically accepting normal, and normal cannot exist in your life. Normal cannot exist in your world. You cannot be okay with normal because what you're trying to do is exceptional and it's extraordinary. To become successful in life, and by the way, you define success how you define success, but to become successful in life, to become free from poverty, to become free from debt, things of that nature, that's exceptional. That's extraordinary. It's not where the normal crowd dwells. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to push beyond mediocrity and not accept mediocrity. But however, to stay broke, you must accept and love mediocrity. You must love normal. To me, it goes a lot along the lines with comfort as well. Comfort and mediocrity are cousins. Comfort and mediocrity, they're friends, right? Where there's comfort, there's also mediocrity. Habit number 6 is to break promises to yourself. It's to make commitments to yourself, not just to yourself, but to others, and always never follow through on those commitments. And what happens is when you're constantly a person who constantly breaks commitments to yourself, I'm going to work out, I'm going to apply for jobs, I'm going to start a business, whatever. When you constantly break commitments to yourself, you create a loop, if you will, or a framework in your mind that's telling yourself that it's okay not to keep your word. It's okay not to be disciplined. And to have a lack of discipline is death financially. It's death to your life. It really hurts you in life not to be disciplined. That's why I even named the channel Discipline Revival, because I really noticed that people who are disciplined are people who have the best lives. People who are disciplined are people who achieve the most in life, and people who lack discipline ultimately achieve nothing. The next habit to remain broke and to guarantee that you will be broke is to wait for perfect conditions. Waiting for perfect conditions. I'll start a YouTube channel when ... I'll start my business when ... I'll start that course when ... You understand? And a lot of people who are destined to be broke are only destined because they have habits such as waiting for perfect conditions, being afraid to just get started, being afraid to begin, being afraid. And it goes along again with discomfort and mediocrity, right? Don't want to be uncomfortable. Being more comfortable being normal than being exceptional, and to be the exception. The next habit, and I think this resonates a lot with the Black culture in America, which is my culture, is to look rich rather than be rich. You know, being so concerned and worried about how you appear to others, as opposed to actually increasing your net worth, right? Living outside of your means, buying cars that you can't afford, buying clothes that you can't afford, buying jewelry you can't afford, just for the sake of looking and appearing a certain way, rather than working to become a certain way so that you can afford to look a certain way. You understand? And the 9th and final habit is to appear busy but not really getting anything done. Having a lot of activity but not really making progress, right? Not really getting the things done that really matter. You know, you're just busy. You're just doing work. I got to read this book. I got to do this course. But you're not really paying attention to the thing that really matters. And that's going to really move the needle, if you will. So you have to really be careful about constantly trying to be active and, you know, being busy and doing this, doing that. You need to focus and know what trade-offs you need to make. Understand what trade-offs you need to make. Understand what changes you need to make and what's important and what's not important, what can wait and what can't wait. Do the things that matter. Do the things that move the needle. Do the things that build you in the direction of progress and wealth. And that's where you want to live, not the opposite. So if you look at the list of the habits that we name, going from starting tomorrow, learning something and not executing, taking advice from broke people, and so on and so forth. When you do the opposite, you're putting yourself on a path to success. You're automatically putting yourself on a path to wealth. You're automatically putting yourself on a path to be extraordinary, to be somebody who breaks bloodline curses, to be somebody who defies the norm in your family, who defies the norm in your neighborhood, who defies the norm in your culture. You know, just by simply doing the right things and making it a part of your lifestyle. Rather than focusing on a goal, you focus on a system, and that system involves several habits that you repeat over time. Hope this blessed you and encouraged you. I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.